So James Harden continues to play hardball with the Houston Rockets. For clarity, James needs 6 straight days of negative COVID tests to join the Houston Rockets, their facilities, and participate in other team activities. Preseason is getting underway tonight. Obviously, Harden will not be available. He's not with the team right now. He was partying with Lil Baby all last weekend, and now he's got to get about 6 straight days of negative COVID tests. We still don't know what James Harden's end goal is, right? Like, we know he wants to be traded, but what if he doesn't get traded? More times than not, he's not going to get traded with only a couple weeks between now and the beginning of the regular season. So what's your real goal here? Now, we've told you guys on this platform in a previous video that James Harden is being represented by his mom right now. Remember, his agent was Rob Pelinka, but when Rob took the job to go be the Lakers, at the time the GM, now he's the VP, that obviously left Harden without an agent, and his mama has taken over that responsibility. That's a big responsibility to put on a guy that's worth that much money and is that big of a brand in the NBA, but she's holding it down, I'm assuming. But I just don't know what's their end goal, and I would assume James Harden would have much more of a clear plan if he had an agent with experience. Let's call it what it is. He needs an agent with experience in there. According to Shams at The Athletic, James has added 2 more teams to the list of teams that he would prefer to be traded to before this season begins. Again, we already know about the Brooklyn Nets. That's his prime destination. And then obviously the Philadelphia 76ers, where he could go and be back with his guy, Daryl Morey. But now we got 2 more teams added to the list, and those teams are the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. I think I want to talk about the Miami situation more in depth because I actually think Miami has a small chance of acquiring James Harden. Maybe not now, but maybe before the trade deadline. We'll see how that one plays out. I think I want to talk about that more in detail in another video. Jimmy Butler has responded to those trade conversations as well. But for now, I want to tell you guys more realistic places that James could go today, because I don't believe he'll get traded to Philly, Brooklyn, Miami, or Milwaukee before the season begins. I think a more realistic destination for James right now, if the Rockets are willing to do business, would be the Chicago Bulls. Now, they're obviously going nowhere, but if you're the Rockets, you could just be like, you know what, James, you're getting on our nerves. We're going to take Zach LaVine, a more athletic guard at this point in his career. Obviously, nowhere near the offensive, literally nowhere near the offensive assassin. No disrespect to Zach, that James is. But maybe they just want to less of that ego. Zach's been looking for some talent to play with. He would get it in Houston. There's some talent there. John Wall is better than what he's got now. In Chicago, Chicago's been bad enough that you could put together some picks and then package something over surrounding Zach LaVine if they wanted to. And another team that I would say, maybe if Denver wants to kind of match it up again is the Nuggets. They got a package that could get it done. If the Nuggets want to pull the trigger, you could go Will Barton, Gary Harris, and Michael Porter Jr. for James Harden. Remember, the Rockets have said that they want a star in return for James Harden. That's why the Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant deal ain't happening with Brooklyn. They're not giving up KD or Kyrie right now. Again, that's why the Philadelphia deal ain't got done, because they don't want to give up Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid right now. And I don't think Tobias Harris would be enough. So, I mean, if it's me, if I'm Denver, I think about it. I probably end up saying no, but I definitely got to think about it. If I'm Houston, I know you say you want a proven star, but Michael Porter Jr. is out of here. This dude will be a star in this league as long as he can stay healthy. So if I'm Houston, I'm considering that bad boy. That's a hell of a deal. If Denver able to compile a couple picks with it as well, to me, that seems like a deal that could potentially work out for both teams. I'm not sure how Jamal Murray and James Harden would do in the backcourt together. You let me know what you think about it in the comment box below. But again, I'm just putting out more realistic scenarios. Miami, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, or Brooklyn. I'm not saying that they won't ever happen. I'm saying that they won't happen before we start the season here. Miami's not trading Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, some of these other young guys. They're not trading them before the season starts, after what they just accomplished in Miami, getting to the finals and losing to the Lakers in a competitive series. They're not doing that. Now, maybe if the Miami Heat got off to a sluggish start, maybe they'd be more willing to do business with the Rockets if James is still unhappy by a trade deadline, which is looking like Marchish. And maybe Milwaukee, if it ain't looking too great for Giannis, maybe, just maybe, Chris Middleton for James Harden is the way you go about it, and add some other players to it as well. Milwaukee gave up so much to get Drew Holiday in the mix. And then also to throw this in there, James and Giannis don't really care for each other like that. They don't really like each other. So, I mean, I don't see that one happening anytime soon. Y'all let me know, though, in the comment box below, where do you see James Harden going? And do you think he just, at some point in time, reports? Let me know what you think in the comment box below. I do think at some point he just comes and plays. Maybe he's unhappy or not. We'll see. Maybe this means he doesn't play defense like he had been playing over the last year. So he had started to lock in on defense. Now, was he an elite defender? Nah. But it was better than what he started his career as. It was much more effort. As great as he is offensively, he was getting much more effort on defense from Harden over the last couple years. We'll see what we get from Harden. Hopefully he buys into Houston. I would love to see him and John Wall in that backcourt. I actually think they can have some moderate success. Let me know what you think in the comment box below. I'm out.